Let's talk quickly about Digimon World 3 and review it kind of in an unbiased manner as much as I can, okay? So, when I grew up, I remember Digimon World 1, Digimon World 2, and Digimon World 3. DW1 was the one that was just so random. You just get fucking left to your own devices, you just wander around, whatever, right? Digimon World 2 was like a different Digimon game. You got to experience more Digimon, but you had this weird dungeon crawler simulator where you're in a tank, you get lost all the time, there's a bunch of steps that you can only take, and then you stand on mines and shit. It's a bit wild. And then there's the third Digimon game, which is the one we've just finished playing. And when I thought about it when I was younger, I really liked how colourful it was. I loved the fact that right at the beginning, you get given a pack, which I think is so great because, you play Final Fantasy, let's just say Final Fantasy 7 because it's topical at the minute, right? You always start off as Cloud, you always start off with Barret, you get Tifa, you get Red 13, blah, blah, blah. Aerith is there as well, right? So everybody who plays that game, that RPG, always ends up with the same team, right? Obviously later on you can diversify your party, but anyways, the reason I like Digimon World 3 is because in the beginning you actually get to choose, you can go with this pack, or you can go for the second pack or the third pack. When you play and your mate plays alongside you, they can choose a different team and you can get to see their Digimon, and it's all really exciting, right? It's not often that you get a choice in these kind of things, and it's cool that was a thing. So I really appreciated the thing at the start, that kind of uniqueness. It kind of gave you it kind of felt like this is your team. You picked this team. You weren't given it. You picked it. It's your team. And I really like that. So when the game starts off, you've kind of got your basic world where it's quite challenging in the very beginning if you're level 1. You run into the fields, and if you're not careful, you go to the wrong place first, you will get absolutely, I nearly said a bad word there, you get absolutely smashed, and it's a bad time. You have to learn quite quickly. The game's quite merciless, okay? But I like that. I like that about old-fashioned PS1 games. They're pretty hardcore. They're old school. They don't give a fuck, If you're not supposed to be in this area and you're there too early, you will get absolutely wrecked, and, you have to go and train. I like that. I like the training situation in this game as well, where, your Digimon level up, and as they level, you get TP points, which you can then spend in the kind of RNG simulator with Leomon in the gym. That's really fun, because it's kind of like rolling the roulette wheel, isn't it? Because it's like sometimes you can win big, sometimes you get absolutely shafted and you get no points. So when you go training, there's always that chance that you do really well. So that's really exciting. I like that. A lot of players won't like it because it's not player based. You just go in and do it, and then you kind of hope that it turns out for the best. But I really like that aspect of this game. I think it's brilliant. So those are the things I like the most. I like in the beginning the areas you kind of start, like the kick boot, the kick tree forest, the boot kicking forest, and the kicking forest and the Divermon Lake and stuff. It's all super colourful and it's really nice. So I liked how colourful the game was in the beginning. That's a really nice feature of the game, because obviously DW2 is so dull and bland and evil. It's kind of creepy and kind of... It's not very nice to play it for long periods of time, whereas this game is very kind of colourful in the beginning, which is nice. Slowly, as we played through, I began to kind of laugh at the memes, as you guys were saying, yep, Jack, now we're getting to backtrap, You get to go from here to here. Remember that place that you've just walked from? Now you have to go all the way back. In the beginning, I didn't mind, because I was like, hey, you get to walk backwards through the fucking... the world, you get to explore it, learn it a bit more, you find new items, you train up your guys, which is kind of exciting in the beginning. When you're rookie, you're aiming for champion, you get your champion, you feel amazing, you get your ultimate, you feel even better. But I quickly realized after a while that the memes there is kind of like what this game is at its core. You could say at its core it's a Digimon RPG. This game has got so much fucking fetching involved, it is mind-boggling. And I don't mind that they put it in from time to time, because it gives you something to do, and it is a PS1 game, right? They're kind of restricted to what they do with the game, but they overtune the backtracking to the point where there's extra backtracking that they could have just removed, and it could have just made your experience so much smoother. My opinion, obviously, you guys don't have to agree, but there's a lot of moments where they could literally, if they wanted to, they could teleport you across the world, but they choose not to. And it's fine to not do that from time to time. You're playing an open world free roam game. You're meant to go on an adventure and explore, but to constantly go backwards and forwards to the same locations repeatedly is kind of annoying. It's like a middle finger to the player, And they don't just do it once. It's the whole game. They do it constantly. Go here, A to B to A to B to C to A to B to C to A to B, over and over again, continuously. And if you're in a world, if you're in a part of the game where the encounter rate is like really merciless, it is so painful. Like, I can't put into words. If you're doing it in little chunks, you can play this game over a couple of weeks and have fun with it. But if you're trying to bash through it like we were, you're gonna suffer, and it's nasty. Later on, when you get to other parts of the world, like the, you know, dare I say it, the underground kind of circuit board areas, the little tunnels. Some people said that the tunnels were fairly easy to navigate, and I can kind of see what they were talking about, right? But there is a lot of tunnels, a lot of them. There's a lot of dead ends, just like pointless dead ends in the tunnels. Dead ends where you actually surface onto the part of the map that you're trying to get to, and then there's just nowhere to go. It's literally a dead end. It's like, why would you even put that in? Why would you do that to your players? You know, I get that a maze has to have certain dead ends to make it a maze, but like, felt so unnecessary, you know. At least put like a reward at the dead end or something. Sometimes there were, sometimes there weren't. It's whatever, right? That sucked a lot. It sucked a lot. I wasn't very good at navigating the underground tunnels. Some people might have a problem with that, some people might not, but in the end, I really had to use my speed up to get through some of that. A couple of annoying mechanics in this game, like when you're training against certain enemies, like the Numemon or whatever, you fight them and you fight them and you fight them, and then they do damage to you, take you down low, and then they run away at the end of the fight. Do you know how annoying that is to train? It's so fucking baffling, dude. Like, I know that certain Pokemon in Pokemon have like moves that take you out of the fight, so like Arcanine or whatever. Growlithe can use Roar and scare you away. Pidgeot can use Whirlwind and send you flying and you're gone, right? Or Abra can use Teleport, right? But those are kind of unique to like those Pokemon. You kind of begin to know, and then you go elsewhere because you've got a whole number of training spots you can go. You just go and train somewhere where that doesn't happen. I felt like in this game there was a lot of Digimon who would fight you, get you low, and then they run away from the fight. That's so fucking dumb, dude. Like, it's so dumb. Not to mention, like, when you're trying to run away from a fight and you can't run away, you know, you click run and it's like you cannot escape. Again, like, Pokemon does that sometimes too. If the enemy's stronger than you, fair enough, but like, there was times where I was just like, just let me leave, dude. If you have a game where the encounter rate is huge and you have to do a lot of exploring, you've got a lot of battles on your hands there. Just make the run button work, you know? Don't make it a coin flip. Don't make it 50-50. Just let me, if I am choosing as a player in your open world game to run away, just let me fucking run away, you know? It's a bit baffling. I don't know, you guys debated otherwise about that. I know everybody had different opinions. I went on a big rant about it. It's fine. It didn't really kind of change my opinion of the game, but it was kind of like one of these things where I was like, why would you do that to your players? Like, why even put it in? Anyways, I felt like this game really needs to be credited on like the sheer amount of like story that was existent at the end of the game. Like, it kept going and going and going, and if you really love this game and you want more content as you play it, then that's a really good feature to have in your game, you know? You want to have more stuff. Sometimes, I mean, who's played like, how many of you guys have played a game where the game is like so good, and then you get to the end, and the ending just falls so flat? You do one battle, it's the boss, you kill it, they die instantly, and then the credits roll and you're like, wait dude, wait, like, where was the build up to the big end and fight? We had so many mini battles and kind of dungeon areas at the end there, where I was like, oh dude, is this the final boss? Is this the final boss? Is this the final boss? And then see when you finally you get to that scenario and you finally beat the final boss, you feel like a god because you're like, oh dude, I just went through all this shit. It actually makes you feel like you're victorious. And there's not a lot of games that do that really well in the modern era. I feel like this game needs to be like patted on the back for that. The ending to this game was like really good. The little visuals as well, the little kind of 10-15 seconds animations of like things getting blown up and shit at the end, those were also really surprisingly good. Like, they tucked that right at the end of a very long game that, like, I know a lot of players, especially back in the day, are never going to see any of those like CGI visual effects, right? That cutscene where Destroyermon appears and then blows up all the navy, that was a really cool scene for a PS1, right? It's not like mind-blowing, but it's good. It's good for a PS1. But they've tucked it so far into the game that, like, back in the day, like 5% of the people who buy this game are going to see that. Like 10% tops. You know, in PSN you can go through and look at the trophy list of players who have like got to the end in trophy, and it tells you a percentage, dude. If it was Digimon World 3 and it was like how many players have got to the end, like the ending chapter, to see that, it would be like 5 to 10%, guaranteed. There's no way that you could have played this game back in the day without some sort of guide. And if you did, right, because a lot of you guys were saying, oh, I played this when I was younger and it was my childhood and I got to this point and I got to this point. Dude, you guys must have some insane amount of patience to get to that point. So I commend you for that. But on the whole, right, I felt like the leveling up was a bit annoying. It was a bit annoying sometimes, you know. I don't like the fact that you can gain a chunk of XP, but you're still capped to your Mega Digivolutions, like leveling up 1 per level. The rookie scenario, or the rookie instance where like your Patamon, your Gilmon, and your fucking Kumamon or whatever your team is, right? I like that like your rookies are kind of like your baseline and their stats scale into the megas, and then the megas are just for moves, right? But it is quite slow to level up your megas, and in a game where there's so much variety, it's a bit of a pain, you know, that you are capped to 1 level per battle for a mega, because let's say you want to get your mega to level 85 like Rosemon, I need to do at minimum 85 battles. Now on one hand it's quite good because the encounter rate in most places is high as fuck, so you can't even move without getting in a battle, but 85 battles just to get that megas move is like quite strenuous, you know? Just let me do it kind of similar to, I hate to compare Pokemon and Digimon, right, because it's going to annoy people, but I don't give a fuck, right? Like, you know how Pokemon, if you go in with a new Pokemon into a really strong area, let's say you're in the Pokemon League, but you want a Gyarados. What do? You catch a Magikarp, you take it into the Pokemon League, you put it in position 1, you swap the Magikarp out, you defeat the enemy Pokemon, Magikarp goes up like 10 levels, right? 15, 20 levels immediately, right? This game doesn't let you do that because it caps you to 1 level per battle, so even if you get a fuck ton of XP with your new Digimon, it's like so slow. And it's like, I don't know why they put that weight on you. It was the same in Digimon World 2, by the way. It's probably a similar system they've copied across. I just wish that... I think it would have made the game a lot more smoother. And it would encourage you as a player to explore more Digivolution options, I think, if it didn't slow you down that way. But that's just me. Some people might like the slow mode. You know, some people might like it because... a comment that one of you guys mentioned earlier on in the week was, by slowing down the rate at which you get to your Mega Digivolutions, you kind of stick with a Digimon for a lot longer, and it kind of feels like you kind of bond a bit more with that Digimon. I kind of see where you're coming from, you know, you kind of have it for longer in your party, which is quite nice. You kind of think, oh yeah, dude, Wormmon is my guy, Stingmon, we've had Stingmon for so long, it's about time he got an ultimate. Yeah, look, he's got his ultimate, nice. But like, at the same time, when you're trying to get to the late game and you just want to get to your power spikes, it makes it really painful. It makes it kind of painful, but I think that's pretty much it. I don't know if there's much else to say. I would say that I started off really enjoying playing through this game again. It was good in the beginning. This game does not give you enough tips though. If we have to draw it up like to a final grade, right? This game is good. It's a good Digimon game. It's got replayability, which is great. You can spend a lot of time playing it. I mean, look, our playtime was 81 hours. 81 hours and 15 minutes we played this game for. There's so much fucking content here, right? Too much backtracking. The micro areas at the end for like navigating are fucking so bad. Encounter rate is a little bit high too sometimes, but the game looks good. Digivolution models are good. The ending is great. Just kind of wish that the game had given you a little bit more help as a player, especially like, I mean, this game is a Digimon game. When it was made, it was marketed for young people, right? We're all adults playing it now, but this game was made to be marketed to young people. The game gives you little as fuck help, like no help on where to go. Like right at the start, you know how if you're getting the Gabumon card to get the kicking boots, you have to go into the inn, and you just have to like find it in a corner of the inn. There's like, the guy tells you, oh, I think I lost it in the inn somewhere. You literally have to just spam click a wall and it appears. That's right at the beginning of the game. It's literally one of the first side quests you can do. The fact that the fisherman guy wants 3 parts for you to build a fishing rod. He doesn't tell you he needs 3 parts. He just says, bring me the parts or some shit. Or he tells you like, oh, I need like a stick. I need a stick, a spiel, and fucking some web. The fact that you have to, like, the fact that you can figure out like to go to the spider area and collect silk, which is a really rare drop, is like, pff, the fact that you use a spear, a weapon from the store, to build the fishing rod is like... There's no way you're going to figure that out when you're younger unless you just play the game for hundreds of hours and then you come across it and you're like, oh, that's how that works. Baffling. I don't know what they were thinking, but... Anyways, Digimon World 3, so glad it's over. I don't want to play it anymore. But it was okay. It was fine. It had problems, but for a PS1 game, pretty exceptional. I like it. But that's just my thought process. I'm glad it's done, guys. I'm glad we're done. I don't want to play anymore.